is Valley News Live at 5.
Police are releasing new details on a gas station robbery that happened in Fargo last week. Court documents state that 28-year-old Peter Palmer stormed into Bjornson's, lifted his shirt to reveal a gun in his waistband, then demanded money. Police say he took off into a nearby neighborhood, but then called 911 and turned himself in. Officers searched his apartment and found a wad of money on his bed, as well as 3 guns in the closet. It turns out the gun used in the robbery was a BB gun. A 68-year-old man is now in jail after a teenage girl says she endured 6 years of sexual abuse. Officials say Terry Harrison is charged with 2 felony counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. Documents state a 13-year-old girl told the Becker County Sheriff's Office that Harrison had been touching her since the age of 6 or 7. Harrison admitted to touching the girl when he was confronted by her mother. If convicted, he faces up to 60 years in prison. Police in Coon Rapids, Minnesota say officers shot an armed man Monday who they say was having mental health issues. Police say a relative of the 26-year-old man called 911 to report that he was suicidal and walking to another home with a handgun in his waistband. Officers found the man outside that home holding the gun and in distress. They say he refused to put it down, and so they deployed a beanbag shotgun. Police say the man continued to disobey orders, adding that's when 2 officers were forced to fire their guns. The Coon Rapids police chief said the man was taken to a hospital in stable condition and is hoping he recovers.
Tasers have limited effect in wintertime with coats, and they have limited effect for distance, and he was clearly armed with a firearm that was in his right hand. So I would suggest that it would have been a poor choice to use that unless somebody was able to sneak up from behind or something like that. But I can't speak to the specifics of this incident, but all the officers we have carried tasers, and I'm sure they considered it.
There's no word yet on the man's current condition. No officers were injured in that incident. We can't quite shake the flurries or the sprinkles, can we? But maybe later in the week we'll get more sunshine. Let's check out this evening's forecast. Hutch?
Andrea, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. Just in time for the drive time, we have some areas of light snow showers again, and a quick look at our tower cam showing lowering clouds here in the FM area and a brief flurry or 2 here. Sioux Falls into southern Minnesota seeing the brunt of this next wave of energy from that big Colorado low that continues to plague the region with clouds and snow showers. In our neck of the woods, northern Cass, the Highway 200 corridor into northern Barnes and Stutzman County seeing the most pronounced snow showers. Now, most of this is not accumulating on road surfaces, but grassy areas we're seeing some accumulation. It is wetting roads and temperatures are near freezing. So as we cool this evening, watch for slippery spots. My main concern are bridges, overpasses, and of course your sidewalk. So watch for that this evening. Temperatures with flurries tonight dip into the low 30s in the FM area and in Grand Forks as well. Coming up, we do have a warming trend, and Andrea, it begins tomorrow. I'll have details on where that's going to go, how warm we get, and we'll look at our next chance of wintry weather here in a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. West Fargo police say they're seeing a decrease in crime as the city continues to grow. The new crime report just released today shows there was an overall 2% decrease in crime in the city from 2019. Violent crimes went down 11% in that same time frame. The West Fargo police chief says the decrease is a testament to the continued partnership between the community and the police department. You can view the full crime report for the city on our website. Cass County Sheriff's deputies will start wearing body cameras this week. The Sheriff's Office contracted with the company Axon to buy the equipment and train their staff. Cass County Sheriff Jesse Johnner says the cameras will increase transparency and hold deputies to higher standards. Johnner says, quote, "I'm very excited for the opportunities and safeguards this camera system will provide our community and deputies." Clay County Public Health is now offering the vaccine to certain essential workers with appointments available this week. These workers are included in Phase 1B Tier 3, along with people who have high-risk medical conditions. The health department is now offering the vaccine to manufacturing and food processing plants, agriculture workers, postal workers, gas station employees, food service, and grocery store employees. The World Health Organization is urging caution on countries using vaccine passports to identify who's protected against the coronavirus. Israel, for example, has a green pass system granting certain privileges to citizens who have had both doses of the vaccine or who have recovered from COVID-19. China has launched a digital COVID-19 vaccination certificate for its citizens. They use the pass for cross-border travel. Other countries are issuing similar documents as they look to reopen their economies.
The Emergency Committee of WHO have made it clear in their recommendations to the Director General that at the present time, the requirement for certification of vaccination as a requirement for international travel is not justified, as vaccination is not widely enough available and is inequitably distributed throughout the world.
The European Union has agreed to develop vaccine passports under pressure from some tourism-dependent countries. Moderna has expanded its vaccine trials to include kids from 6 months to 12 years old. The trial for 12 to 17-year-olds is also underway. The studies are designed to show how children tolerate the vaccine and to make sure it's safe and effective for them. David Begnaud spoke to one family that's involved.
It was Blair Davis's 15th birthday, and to celebrate, she and her younger sister Dylan got into the car, headed to a clinic.
Happy birthday, way to celebrate.
And they got a COVID swab. That's because the Davis sisters are part of Moderna's adolescent vaccine trials. And yesterday, they got their second shots.
No way to know if it's a placebo or if it's the real thing, but what do you think?
I think I got the placebo.
We're pushing for a fever. We're pushing for body ache.
Yes, exactly.
Because
right.
as doctors, you know that if that happens, the body is reacting
That's
to
right.
something.
That's right. They're getting a response.
Yeah.
We're looking for a response.
Garvin Davis and Mindy Jeter, both doctors, are the girls' parents. They say they applied to at least 3 different adolescent trials.
To get them protected was really important for us.
So you felt like getting them protected as early as possible would in the end protect you?
Would protect us. It would protect their grandparents and anyone else.
But for this family, it's not just about protecting themselves from COVID.
I wanted them to be an example, to set an example, to say, hey, this vaccine is safe. We actually, as doctors, trust our children getting this shot.
And getting kids vaccinated will be critical to ending the pandemic, says CBS News medical contributor Dr. David Agus.
So we have to do everything we can to get toward herd immunity. And given that 25% of the United States is under the age of 21, this is going to have to include children.
And now that we know the vaccines work, children's trials only need to answer the important questions.
Is it safe, period? And do they mount effective immune responses, period? And those are very easy to do with smaller numbers of children.
A few thousand children, actually, starting with kids like Dylan and Blair, who spent her special day in a Houston clinic.
But it's sort of my duty, like as a Houstonian, to help out other Houstonians. This is one way I can do that.
Dr. Anthony Fauci is saying that the older kids, Blair and Dylan's age, could get the COVID vaccine as early as this fall. And the babies, the really young ones, could start getting it as early as next year. David Begnaud, CBS News, Houston, Texas.
Moderna hopes to enroll 3,000 participants in the trial for 12 to 17-year-olds. To stay on top of the latest COVID vaccine-related information, use our VNL vaccine tracker. It's right on the home page of our website, or you can open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up. The girls on an Oklahoma high school basketball team called the N-word by a sports announcer are now state champions, and they're speaking out about why they took a knee during the national anthem. Jerica Duncan reports.
We never would have thought, wow, this would happen to us.
Caitlin Simmons, Shantae Embry, and Millie Roberts say their team was in shock when their coach shared the news.
It was just blank stares.
The Norman High School girls basketball squad had taken a knee during the national anthem all season in an effort to bring awareness to racism and social injustice. But on Thursday, an open microphone captured sports announcer Matt Rowan berating them with a racial slur.
That just goes to prove the point that
this is why we took a knee.
In a statement, the NFHS network, which broadcast the game, promised an investigation, saying that it cut ties with the third-party crew involved and adding that it firmly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination. Rowan did release an apology, but blamed the rant on his type 1 diabetes, writing, "I do not believe that I would have made such horrible statements absent my sugar spiking."
It's just real ugly.
Civil rights attorney Mike Lowe and Ben Crump are representing the team.
We're demanding that the regulatory authorities of the Sports and Athletic High School Association in Oklahoma publicly condemn this racism.
And the Tigers.
The girls took home a state title Saturday, celebrating one win, now fighting for something bigger.
We just want change within our community, our state, and our country. And that change is going to start with people holding other people accountable.
Jerika Duncan, CBS News.
The Oklahoma Secondary Schools Activities Association, which oversaw the basketball tournament, released an apology as well. Along with cutting ties with Rowan, they say this kind of behavior will never be tolerated and promise to make further comments pending an investigation. 3 people are dead and 1 injured after a plane crashes into a South Florida neighborhood. It was captured on camera, and we want to warn you, some may find the video disturbing. The horrific accident happened Monday afternoon. You see a vehicle traveling down the road when a small plane slams into the passenger side. Officials say 2 people who were aboard the plane died at the scene. An adult and child had to be extricated from the vehicle, and the child later died from injuries. The city of Moorhead is bringing back Cleanup Week this spring, but this year it will take place over 2 weeks, starting May 3rd and ending on the 14th. Your pickup day depends on your recycling schedule. For a list of when your junk can be picked up and what's expected and accepted, find this story on your VNL News app. Rock fans, get ready to sail away at the Red River Valley Fair this summer. The fair announced that Styx will headline the grandstand on Sunday, July 11th. The fair runs from July 9th through the 18th. Other acts at the grandstand include Chris Young and Trace Adkins, to name a few. It is a big week for North Dakota college football fans up and down the valley. NDSU is taking on UND Saturday at the Fargo Dome. The pregame show starts at 1:30. Kickoff set for 2:30. As always, we have the best seat in the house for you right here on KVLY. One dating app is mailing out free COVID kits to encourage people to go on dates again. How you can reserve one is still to come.
And we're still feeling the impacts of an exiting storm system that is now bringing showers to the mid-Atlantic states and the Gulf Coast states. A few flurries moving out of South Dakota into southern Minnesota tonight. We'll have details on some clearer skies and warmer temperatures coming up right after this.